also want to know what the or something, if you're a teenager or something. What's the something?
Just this stuff and things.
Like a werewolf?
Yeah, a werewolf, like a human,
Like Teen
half
Wolf,
human,
yeah.
half snail.
Yeah, like Teen Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teen snail.
It's snail. Teen
But
snail.
worse.
It's a lot gooier than Teen Wolf, but there's less hair, so that's good.
He
Got a
did
hard
not make the
average.
basketball team. or track.
Hello and welcome to episode 100 of the GameBrew Podcast, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious beers, discuss video games, and we have been in front of these microphones for too damn long. We have. I am
many
your
opinions.
host, Ian Richard, and today I am joined by Chris Reitz,
Hi.
Dan Rotz,
Hey.
Alex Ryder,
Hello.
Will Shell,
Howdy, folks.
and Allison Van Dievender.
I'm the lady voice.
That is true.
Okay. On the first, one day we're all gonna do lady voices, and Allison is gonna have to do her best man voice impression.
Guys, I can do a lady voice. I'm a lady right now. Listen to me.
I can be masculine. I sound like Batman, though.
It does sound like you being Batman. On the first half of the show, we'll talk about all of the streaming platforms available in 2020, and in the second half, we'll be visited by the Mandatory Fund Commissioner.
Sustained no bounds.
But first, it's time for a beer. Oh, sorry, I kind of...
I'm going to use my
Quick draw.
paint can opener,
Yeah,
apparently.
open that with the paint can opener.
Which
I had
just
no
love.
idea, guys.
Chris, what are we drinking this week?
Well, I'll just tell you what the cap says. It says nothing is finer than drinking a niner.
Oh, that doesn't clarify at
that's-
all. What does
Well,
Alex's
it kind of
cap
does.
say?
It says we have a 9. So that's a hint, I guess.
What does
you-
Alex's cap say?
Mine says 6 hats. Go Pats.
Okay, so we got 2 of the words.
Dan?
Mine says recycle your soul.
Okay,
Hold
all
on,
right.
wait, let me say that again.
Recycle your soul.
What I appreciate is that, he's not letting things go to waste. It's important to reuse.
Yeah,
reduce.
we gotta reuse
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah,
karma,
recycle.
maybe?
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
That's
So-
right.
So what does that mean, Chris?
We're drinking Magic Hat number 9. It's a delicious beer from Rochester, New York. It's a not quite pale ale with a hint of, I believe, apricot.
This is an interesting description for this beer because it doesn't... not quite pale ale. What does that mean? Like, it's not quite hoppy enough to be considered a pale ale?
It's probably just something
Maybe.
that they said when they first made it a long time ago, and they've just been saying it because they, yeah. But the reason
Jerry said
we
it.
chose this was because we've basically been drinking this forever, just like we've been doing this podcast forever.
Oh, God,
I know
forever.
for me, it was like one of like the first craft beers I got into in college.
Yeah, I think that was the case
so,
for a
too.
lot
we
of
used
us.
to we used to get kegs of this stuff whenever we were
did.
stuff.
Yeah, this was the first beer that I could honestly say that I liked. Like, I would drink other beers because drinking beer was cool, but this one I actually enjoyed.
Drinking beer is
We used to live right next to that Italian
If you
restaurant that served
are of age.
a lot of different magic hats. They had Love and then number 9, and I think that's where a lot of us got into it.
Yeah.
Just walk
Sure,
across the
I
street.
think you guys just made me drink it, and that's why I liked it.
But how do you guys think it holds up? Like compared now that we've been drinking pretty good beers
it's
for a
still
while.
good. It's still
good.
good, but there's a lot of other stuff we can drink now.
Yeah, I feel like at the time it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
But-
like at the time, especially like the plumminess of it, like there's a very fruity, like a dark stone fruitiness to it. That was kind of like fun.
Yeah,
Now that I'm drinking it, I'm having college like PTSD.
like it's good. It's definitely like more of a summer beer. Alex, but it doesn't hold up in my opinion. Alex, go ahead.
I don't think it holds up at all. It's so much. It's so much watery. Or so much more watery than I remember it being. It lacks body that I thought it had.
I love it because it's so smooth. It's not too, like, it doesn't try so hard. One of the things I don't like about a lot of like quote unquote great beers is it's like hop overload or it's sensation overload. And this is just smooth all the way through. It's not quite Bud Light Platinum, but it's just smooth. It's really good.
There it is.
So
biggest
anything from Stone you don't like?
Yeah, pretty much.
My question is, when did it turn to a screw top?
Wait, is it a screw top? Oops.
This is a screw top.
Oh,
And
I don't remember.
I'm against that.
You're against any beer in a screw top?
Yeah.
You know what I'm not against? Whatever Allison's drinking. Allison, what are you drinking?
So I looked up the underneath of my bottle cap and it just says dance a twat.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Can we say twat on the
I think so. We say a lot of other stuff.
If
It's
we could
fine.
have a 10-minute conversation about the mechanics of men's underwear, I think we could say twat on the podcast.
We're not airing that. It's okay.
According
Well, we were.
That'll be a special feature. We can put it under that on the lip sync.
On our OnlyFans.
in honor of our 100th episode, on the first unreleased episode, as I was just listening back, we had a 5-minute long conversation if we were going to be a family-friendly podcast, and we determined no, we are not
Great
family-friendly.
news. That held up. That still hits.
I don't know. There's a GameBrew fact in here that says that we are a family podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, but we know that
Dysfunctional
GameBrew facts
family.
are inherently false.
Allison, so tell us about what you're drinking.
So I'm drinking, I tried to pull the thing that I drank on the first episode of the podcast I was
Nice.
on, which was 23.
Oh, beautiful.
Lucky number 23. But it was pear, and I'm not sure if that's seasonal or if I just couldn't locate it. I only saw green apple, and then this seasonal, which was pineapple.
Oh, snap.
What?
So yeah, I grabbed it.
That looks delicious as fuck.
Yeah, it's good.
Dang.
I don't know.
I want
It's
that.
like
I want it too.
it's like the pear except better
Yeah, because pineapple.
because it's like it's sweeter and it's got that light hit of citrus. I don't know, much better. Really like this one. Sad it's only seasonal. I
Allison.
drink this a lot. Yes.
Allison, I have a question.
That is me, and I may have an answer.
Fanta.
Wanta Fanta?
Yeah,
It's
do you
definitely
like?
Fanta.
Would you, if somebody offered you a Fanta, would you want a Fanta?
what?
I would want a Fanta. Yeah.
Have you had the yellow?
There's no other choice.
Have you had the yellow Fanta? That is.
I would
pineapple?
never want a yellow Fanta. I don't
Why
like
not?
the yellow ones. No.
But that's
Allison,
pineapple.
If you had to choose
yeah, that's different. That's fake. That's wrong.
between Mountain Dew and Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. What kind of question is
100%.
that?
100%.
Yeah, it bleeds through my veins, guys. If Mountain Dew, if Taco Bell actually, I think, has to sponsor me because it's a Taco Bell specific. If they would like to sponsor me, I would love that. I'm very pissed that Baja Blast is not available at your Taco Bell locations often enough.
You know what's funny? It's actually available in cans and bottles in Canada. So if you moved a little bit farther north.
Well,
That's what I need to do. It's only available during the summer in cans.
Yeah, it's only
Allison buys all I can.
Summertime.
And goes through it
Stocks
too
up.
quick. I also have Baja Blast lip balm. Like I use regularly.
wow.
Like I love Baja Blast.
Allison,
This
you know
is my
that
favorite. This is my favorite Allison fandom so far.
So sorry for our tangent, but I just wanted everybody to know that this week I've been playing more Roki.
And
That's my game.
the best. Of
there you go.
segues.
And
How's that?
What is Roki? Because it
Roki,
sounds
I
Roki
talked
sounds
about
like a motorized vacuum that lives in
no,
your
no,
house.
no. I talked about it when we did our holiday. Alex gifted it to me.
Oh
And
yeah. Did you
you
finish
made
it?
that exact same
No.
joke on that podcast.
100th episode where we're just recycling everything. It's fine.
That's true. This is the
There's
recycling episode.
There was an episode of Always Sunny that's like that.
No. It's still really good. It's still gorgeous. I was playing it on my stream, and I keep finding myself drawn back to it because of how pretty it is and how like the plot is just getting sadder and sadder. Like I'm sitting here and the whole time I'm just like, will this be a happy ending game? Or will this continue to be soul crushing? It has to be a happy ending game, I keep telling myself, because it's just like a sad thing, sad thing, sad thing, sad thing, sad thing. So like at the end, if I don't have at least one positive, I don't know.
I think
don't
that's
know.
a little like of an indie game pitfall.
That sounds
at this-
rough.
at that point, where it's like it's too much. Like y'all doing too much sad. You need to like mix in some happy, so the sad
in
feels
some-
sadder.
I don't mind sad, but like I wasn't expecting that out of this whole game. When you look at it, it looks very like
Whimsical.
friendly
Yeah.
and whimsical. And so I wanted the magic's there, the good characters are there. I don't have anything positive happening in
So
the
is this
story.
like a
It's all
hardcore
sad.
depressing like Dark Souls
Yeah, it's like
environment
watching the
sad, or
news
is it
this
like a
year.
catharsis sad? It sounds like it's more of just depression.
You start the game. I'll give you the first 2 minutes of the game. You start the game. You find out your mom's dead, and you're basically taking care of your brother yourself because your dad drank himself into a stupor, and then you kill your father with fire on accident.
God.
This is like basically the setup for like Finding Nemo, right? It's like a Pixar movie. Like
kind of.
everything terrible happens
with
in like
more
the first...
fire.
Yeah, with more fire and drunk fathers. Dan, I see you have Code Vein up on yours. How's that going?
I do. Code Vein. It was really good for what I mean. I've kind of gotten to, like any kind of Souls-like game, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, oh, I gotta level up some more before I feel like confident again. But it's very interesting because
That's
the whole
where I
reason.
feel like I'm at in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, we're all there. It's okay.
It's okay, Dan. I just need to grind and level up a little bit.
Remember we were talking about depressing stuff? We're like, Jesus. So I was going to start watching an anime of some kind. The whole reason I started to play it was because I was like, I kind of want to start watching an anime. But then I remembered you talking about Code Vein, and I was like, well, let me see what this is like. Kind of looks like an anime. And it literally is. It's like an anime, but there's Dark Souls stuff.
It looks really
that's the
fun.
first one for the year.
Oh, it's the first one! Damn it! Ka-ching sound.
Got him.
It does some things that are really interesting. I'm interested to keep playing it. One of the things is, it's about vampires, basically. It's animated up vampires, but they're basically vampires. One of the things that you do is you can like absorb people's like blood and souls, and by doing that you get like their code
In your veins.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh God. It makes so much sense. Which is why, and you can switch, and the whole concept of the game is it's this Souls-like game, but you can learn new abilities and use different abilities by switching whatever class you are.
That's cool. I think one of the tough things about Souls games is like, because you can't change character class styles really easily, like you kind of commit to a certain line and then continue down that line. It can if you're, not a super focused person, start to feel stale, the gameplay. So it's cool that you get that opportunity to change it up.
Yeah.
If you're Ian.
If you're Ian.
Yeah, because what I do is I start the game 5 times, play 10 hours on 5 different characters, and then I decide which one I want to play.
But the cool thing about it is that if you use an ability from that class enough, you eventually have it. So if it's like, oh, there's this ability that's really cool on this long range person, you can use it or kill enough enemies with it to then have it, and then you could switch back to one of your other classes that has like a higher attack power or a higher defense power, and then move on to, and then use that.
It kind of sounds like that that system that was in Final Fantasy VII, where like if you used a certain weapon set for a certain amount of time, you got the ability to use.
Or you mean Final Fantasy 8?
No,
9.
No, it had it in the new 7.
Oh, in the new 7.
About the remake.
Yeah, in the new 7. Yes.
I haven't played
you are
old
correct.
7.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have it, and
dig
I
in.
probably should play it with you.
Let's see. Will, have you been gaming at all, or are you committing to being a father now?
No, I still got a while.
He's not committing to be a father.
Got a while. Even when the kid's here, I got one of those tactical front-holding baby holsters, so I can still hold the controller, and I can be like,
Tactical
"Look,
baby
buddy,
holster.
this is the X button. This is R1."
It's going to be really confusing for him when the X button is in different places every time.
This is true. I got to be consistent.
It's confusing for me.
I rolled credits on a couple of things. Played some retro games. I rolled credits on Star Fox 64, which is super short, like 2.5, 3 hours tops kind of thing. A more substantial game. I also rolled credits on Assassin's Creed Unity. Just finished that up the other day, which was a really fun experience. I really liked that a lot. And I started, finally, Final Fantasy VII, which I don't really think we need to talk about too terribly much, but One of the great things about this, if you have not played it yet and you are a fan of the original game, you will have so much fun looking around the environment that you're in and just like looking up and down and just exploring. I normally just go through a game for the story. They did such a masterful job in turning what I imagined the world in Midgar City to look like and turning it into a three-dimensional space that you can just explore. And it's just wonderfully, wonderfully done. I've spent so much time just wasted walking around. I beat that first scorpion boss in the first reactor, and there's like time going down on the thing, and I'm like, oh, what's over here? What's over? And I'm just wasting time before I explode. But a great game. Really enjoying it. Really having a good time.
Nice. And Chris?
So I've been playing some Deep Rock Galactic late night with Ian and Marianne, which has been a lot of fun. It is so good, and it's great to see that they've been supporting it for so long. There's actually another update coming out in the next few weeks to add some more biomes.
Oh, yeah. Snap.
But no, it's a solid game, and it's got so much replayability.
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving. The more I play it, the more content I discover within the game already, and that is just amazing, especially from a game that started off in beta, and I was like, I don't know, it just needs more stuff. And they were like, okay, here's more stuff. And it's just there. It's really cool. So if you played a little bit and bounced off of it, like I did, I would strongly suggest that you dig deeper.
I'm sorry. We made the resolution to not do as many puns in 2020.
I did not.
I didn't. Yeah. No, it wasn't me.
And I've also been playing Battlefront 2. It was given out free this week on Epic.
Hope everybody got it.
Hope everyone got it.
Yep.
I played about 3 hours, but I've been having a good time. It has a lot of the original vibes. From
nice.
The mid 2000s.
That's good.
I've been doing just like the co-op 4-player against AI, and it's been a lot of fun, but don't want to dig too much into that since I haven't played it too much.
What is Sasso Credo Bala?
Oh, that's Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh my god! I typed this into Google because I was like, I don't know what this game is, and there's just a picture of a cat.
Sasso Credo Bala. So I finally caved and started playing it. I bought it during the sale. Haven't gotten too far in that either, but really enjoying it. I prefer the environment to Odyssey, and I think they did some really cool things. One of which is you have to choose. You have 3 options at the beginning for your sex, if you're going to be male or female, or if you let the animus choose. So different sections of the game, you'll be male or female.
Oh,
depending on which has a stronger, depending on which has like a stronger story element to it.
Whoa, okay, that's interesting.
Which is kind of really cool, yeah. So I chose that. So I'm starting off as female, and it's Assassin's Creed, and looking forward to exploring more in there.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that 2021 is the year for normalizing non-binary / more gender choices in video games, but we'll see.
That's all Allison wants in video games.
Alex, what have you been up to?
I'm jumping back on the Overwatch train.
Woo woo, choo choo.
I've been jumping into random games. Last night was our buddy Wayne's semi-bachelor party. So I jumped in with him and some of his groomsmen and played Overwatch for a couple hours, which was fun.
That's beautiful. Video games as a way to come together. It's nice.
Yep.
And not just in Second Life, boys and girls. You can do it in Overwatch. Okay.
Sorry, I was laughing at Come Together. I just couldn't.
Right now.
Over me.
Wow. This dominatrix is really demanding of all of us. It's a great thing she gave us a group rate.
I don't do group rates.
Speaking of right now, we wanted to talk about the state of streaming platforms right now. And 2020 is kind of a crazy time to talk about this.
Well, it's 2021.
It's 2021.
But 2021 is an even crazier time to talk about it.
But why? Why? Why,
okay,
Ian?
yeah. So the reason is that in the unreleased episode, GameBrew episode 001, we wanted to talk about streaming platforms in 2017, but we didn't get to it on that episode, partially because we were incredibly inept at making podcasts during episode 001, and also partially because there weren't a whole lot of streaming options during 001.
Streaming or subscription.
Or subscription.
Or subscriptions. But in 2020, options are afoot. And so there's a bunch of really cool stuff
They
out there.
abound.
And so that's what we kind of wanted to talk about today. If you're someone who like is interested in Stadia or like is a Game Pass aficionado like I am, like even just doing my research for this, there are so many different and really cool options out there that are worth talking about and worth thinking about. And the place I actually wanted to start with this is Shadow by Blade. Does anybody know about this?
No.
Yes.
Not even a little bit.
Basically, what Shadow does is it's a virtual computer. So you log in on whatever device you're logging into, and it allows you access to a gaming computer running Windows 10. And from there, you can install your Steam, your Epic, whatever it is you want to install on that computer, and then run it with incredibly low latency, which is an amazing way to just be like, yeah, here's your whole gaming platform on your phone, just do the thing and it's fine. Or on, like a Mac if you wanted to run it. So I should say it runs through Chrome. So anything that runs Chrome can run Shadow. So I thought that was a really cool way to sort of keep the functionality and complexity of a full gaming device without limiting the libraries in the way that like a Stadia does. So I think for people who are like PC gaming aficionados who for some reason like maybe you need to be on the go, maybe you're like a flight attendant or something, this might be the thing.
I mean, the other thing is it could be a really cool way, not just for gaming, to use a powerful computer.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
Maybe if you're like an architect who's on the go, you have to use like high-powered CAD software.
Or if you are like a video editor.
Yeah, that could be another thing.
That's a cool concept. I like the fact that you can include all of your different platforms that you like to get and play your games on. That's definitely useful because one of the gripes I have or my complaints and grievances is there's so many different things out there. If you go with something like just Stadia or just GeForce Now, you're pigeonholed into this is what's available, take it or leave it. You can't have extra. So I really like the openness of that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting way to kind of work around the streaming platform. It's like, yeah, you already own all these games on Steam or Epic. No need to buy them again.
Out of all of the streaming options, though, I feel like this is one where internet connectivity is going to be the biggest factor. And so even playing on your phone or something, it's like if you're in a spot with bad reception or you don't have 5G or whatever, it's like I don't see how you could play a high-end game without having the artifacts of bad streaming or bad internet causing either jitters or latency in the decisions that you make.
That's definitely a huge factor, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how this would work as an option for everyone.
Yeah, and that's really true. And I think if anything is like the limiting factor for streaming platforms in general, it's that you have to have a stable and a stable and fast internet connection for it to be viable at all. So this one would be, they recommend a download of 15 megabytes per second and an upload of 5 megabytes per second. So it's like 140 megabits up and like 16 or down and like 16 megabytes up. So it does absolutely depend on a really fast internet connection.
This is pretty pricey at $30 a month.
Yeah.
So if this it's not really a long-term fix, I don't think. I think it would be good short term. It could also be good maybe if you were traveling and you still needed to work. But I mean, if you subscribe to this for 2 years, that's $720.
Oof.
At that point, you could have built a computer.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And $720 plus whatever you're paying for, a fiber connection is a pretty big investment in terms of in terms of getting into that. Let's talk about actually the cheapest option on the list now, which is PlayStation Now. So not a streaming platform in the same way, in the same sense that like Stadia or Shadow or GeForce Now is, but still a really broad library of games. I'm wondering who here has PlayStation Now, and like, would you vouch for it?
Looks like none of us have.
He's just
this
raising
is an
his
audio
hand.
platform, Will.
I'm just waiting for the yes, Will. You have permission to speak.
I was like, just talk.
If we're all quiet, you're good.
I am not subscribed to PlayStation Now at the moment, but it's one of my on again, off again relationships with subscription services. And
Shh, don't tell Molly.
I know. But it is definitely something that I would vouch for. I really do like the depth of what they have on there. My biggest gripes with it are you're not going to find anything brand spanking new on there. That's one big serious weakness that they have when you compare it with something like Game Pass. They have great titles on there, but they're several years old. So if you're someone like me who does not, like, you just can't or you won't keep up with the latest and greatest, and you're not always playing the big hits that are out there, and you want to play them 3, 4, 5 years down the road, it's a great service with that. The other complaint that I have is even when those things show up on there, they're not always there for a long time. You've got plenty of time to play them. However, they seem to rotate things in and out quite a bit more than what Game Pass does. That, or it's just they're a little more in your face about it and you recognize it more. So it definitely feels like there's less stability in terms of what your selection is on there. But great service. I like it. It's worth picking up. If you're going to do it, I would do it for the year and get the discount on it.
Yeah, right. So and this I think is like the superpower that PlayStation Now has. It can be cheaper if you're willing to invest for the long term than every other platform out there. So PlayStation Now is only $60 for a year's worth of, for actually more than a year's, for 15 months worth of time. Whereas Xbox Game Pass doesn't look like they have like a yearly subscription.
They only have monthly. Yeah. It's like month by month for whatever you're
right, which means that you end up paying a little bit more over time. There is like a value proposition there, which PlayStation seems to be taking advantage of. And I think the other superpower that PlayStation Now has is like first party Sony games are so good.
They are
still. And I cannot believe that Microsoft hasn't managed to compete with them against that.
Yet.
Yeah, yet. One really important thing to know, though, is that PlayStation Now is purely a gaming download and or stream service, which, by the way, you cannot download everything, unlike Game Pass. Some things you can, but a lot of the older stuff especially, you have to stream that. So there and again, you're dependent upon a decent internet connection. There is observable latency, but it's not something that really affects your game. It almost just feels like you're playing something that was designed 15 years ago, and it just has some input lag. So it's not horrible. But if you're someone who likes multiplayer experiences, PlayStation Plus is not included in that subscription, so you'd have to spend an additional $60, so $120 total, $60 for PlayStation Now, $60 for PS Plus, which is still cheaper than Game Pass for an entire year. However, you need to keep that in mind. You need both services.
Sorry, a little bit of a fact check here. That's actually not true anymore. I don't know if it was at one point, but now if you have PS Now, it includes access to multiplayer. Yeah.
Okay, then awesome. Okay, great. Oh, by the way, on the Shadow Blade also, it's $15 a month or $12 a month on that.
Yeah, so Shadow Blade can be as cheap as $15 a month, but it's only like 60 FPS 1080p. If you want to upgrade to the cool version and get like a 2080 running virtually, then
they must have that buried, because that is not on the subscribe screen. Oh man,
yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah, 30 a month.
That is sneaky.
Yeah, it's the cool version, so it's out back by the dumpsters smoking, so that the teachers won't.
It's absolutely true.
Sneaky.
Allison, I'm curious if you're curious about Stadia.
No.
Not even in the least bit.
Hasn't even come into my head as an option I want. No.
So here's what I want. As like a consumer of video games, as someone who's very tech savvy, like you're streaming, twitch.tv/Vernalia.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because it seems like it's like an easy option, a good library of games, doesn't require a super crazy internet connection.
it's more hassle than it's worth for me, I guess is where I'm at with it. I always have a problem having to purchase games through all these different platforms to play them. It annoys me. Like it's bad enough that I have to deal with, like, I'd love if everything was in my Steam library. But the fact that now I have to have the Epic Store, I have to go to the, Origin to play Sims 4. I have to go to, like, it's just, all this is so obnoxious to me that the thought of adding Stadia makes me upset. I have Xbox Game Pass, but I only have that because my friends like to play games on it, or I wouldn't even have that because that even is just too annoying to me. And I find benefit in that product where it's like I have an Xbox One that is dead right now. The power cable, I think, is shot from a power surge that we had.
That makes sense.
And so, like, I need to get it replaced. But I can play those games on my computer with Game Pass. Like, I can play all kinds of games on my computer instead of on the actual console. So I don't feel like I'm missing out. So I haven't even considered replacing my cable, to be honest.
Yeah. I do want to dig into Game Pass a little bit more because I think there's some juicy bits to talk about there. But I want to
but that's even too annoying. I can't imagine
the idea of
getting Stadia.
Buying a controller and doing all that setup feels just like
and
too
then
much.
It's all just extra shit. I don't feel
and
like
then it's like
with.
You're paying for the subscription service, but then you also pay for the games.
Right. So it's
that's
I would prefer to just buy things through Steam and pay for the game.
I think we're just not the target audience for Stadia.
Interesting.
I think it's a decent product, at least now. It sounds like, especially like, I mean, we talked about this with Cyberpunk. It sounds like that was actually really good for them because they were able to run it perfectly fine compared to PS4 and Xbox One. So
the biggest thing that Stadia has going for it is probably that of the direct streaming options. This one seems like the easiest to navigate for someone who's, not built a computer before, right? For someone who's not like steeped in the lore and the mechanics of how online platforms work, Stadia seems manageable, where something like Shadow feels like it could be a little bit intimidating.
Which is probably why we're not the target audience and I'm not excited about it. Like, none of that means anything to me, So it's just kind of one of those things of, I don't know why I'd really be getting it.
Yeah, I think for me, just looking at Stadia, it's like the only way I would use it is if I didn't want a game on my PC. Like if I don't know where else I would want a game, but that's just my setup. And so it's like if I did want to play games on my MacBook Pro for some reason, then I could do that with Stadia. But why would I do that when I have a PC?
Fancy gaming computer.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we haven't talked about yet, obviously Game Pass, and then GeForce Now we'll end with, because I think that's the one that is kind of like on the fringes, but also has the most possibility for the future moving forward. But the interesting thing for Game Pass, and we've talked about it a ton, so I don't want to talk about it a lot, but recently Phil Spencer talked about how all first-party Microsoft titles will come directly to Game Pass on release day. So that means that like Halo Infinite, new Forza game, new Gears game, all of those are going to come directly to Game Pass on release day. And that is bonkers to me.
Well, that's what they've been advertising for any Microsoft game, like any Xbox exclusive. They're like, hey, guess what? When you can play this, when you can buy this game, it'll be released on Game Pass day one for pretty much every title that's coming out for it. Because why not? You got the money.
I know. I think that's a huge selling point for Game Pass. I'm still on the Game Pass train. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it even. I don't even care about that. Is that weird? Because like you said, like I don't see that being a big influence, at least yet, or in our near future. So that being announced was just kind of like that's kind of crazy from a business sense to me.
Yeah.
For their future, I don't think that will continue being the thing after they really start pumping out more content. Day one releases won't be included anymore. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's going to lose them more money than they really understand. So I think that'll get cut. But for now, that means nothing to me. I do think it is the best service out of all of them. It is the only one I use. I like it for the sake of, if I have Game Pass, my friends have Game Pass, we now all have the same game to play. Yeah, right. We don't all have to purchase it. So it's a nice, easy way for us to get together with a game. That's really great. That's all I can really say about Game Pass. We haven't discussed before.
Yeah. No, and then, sorry, go.
But I think the biggest thing for that is because Microsoft is running it like a corporation, because they keep getting more people involved. Like EA Play is now a part of Game Pass, so you can play pretty much any EA game that you want to through Game Pass. Like, you want to play all of the Mass Effect series? Great, it's on Game Pass. You want to play Dante's Inferno, which we've talked about a bunch of times?
Mass Effect, I gotta go.
But you want to play that, which was a great game for the Xbox 360. Guess what? It's on Game Pass because EA.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. And then GeForce Now. So GeForce Now went into beta in 2015, kind of beat everybody else to the punch, but also kind of stumbled through that opening. And then recently has kind of been hit by like a sudden removal of Blizzard's titles. And so everything else on there is kind of like, oh, I don't know. But in theory, it allows you to play your Steam, Epic, and Uplay libraries anywhere that you can install the GeForce Now app. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty freaking cool. And it's also cheap, as I do recall.
It is. It's not horribly expensive.
So this is one that you've played with, right, Will?
Yes. I've played with it a decent bit, actually. There's a free version for anyone who wants to just try it. You can just go do it. You're limited to an hour a day, but I mean, it's fine to try it out. And you can't skip queues, so sometimes you can wait like a queue 200-300 people deep, but it goes pretty quick. But it works. It works really, really well, aside from the issues you just mentioned, especially publishers pulling their games from it, which is a big deal. It's a service that runs great. I played some Destiny on it. Works great. I played some Division 2 on it. Works really well. I don't have any major complaints or grievances with it. It's a good service.
That's good to hear. Do you remember, let me see. Looks like... I'm trying to figure out. There's a free, 1 hour per day. The $24.95 for 6 months is what they're currently offering for the buy-in. Which, for 6 months,
is good.
It's $5 a month. Less than that. That seems all right.
But you're streaming it from your stuff, though, so you have to own the games again. You have to
own the game. So if you want to stream the Division, you have to own the Division. If you want to stream Counter-Strike, you've got to own the game. So yeah. You're literally paying for the ability to use a remote computer to stream it to your TV.
See, to me, this is the most interesting, because if I was still traveling to New York every so often with work, which I don't right now, but it would be nice if I could if I'm in the hotel, I'd be able to use this potentially.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I like about it so much is that, for someone who's maybe saving, or you're like a teenager or something and you work a job and you can't build a sweet gaming rig right now, but you can afford the games and this service, when you do get your sweet gaming rig, you own all these games. You just install them on your new rig. It's not like, oh, I have this new service now, I have to repurchase all these games. No, you already own all this stuff. Just put it on your rig.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, man. And then Amazon is apparently coming out with a streaming service similar to Stadia called Luna, but it's still in alpha, so we don't really know a lot about it or how it works. But right now it's cheap, but only for those who are invited.
I have an interesting question.
All right, last question.
If it's not interesting, I don't want to hear it.
Streaming services for music kind of drastically changed the scope and the field of the music industry. From what I'm seeing, streaming services for video games is evolving very much more naturally with the entire game community and environment and ecosystem. And do you think part of this is the gaming companies are seeing the pitfalls that the music industry went through and they're kind of doing things differently? Or do you think there are things that the music industry could learn from the gaming industry to make that better?
What do you mean, like the pitfalls of the music industry?
I think that streaming services kind of killed a huge part of the music industry. It still is a huge problem in the music industry. People are able to listen to, like, yes, you sign up for a subscription to Tidal or Spotify, but the artist isn't seeing any of that revenue, like hardly. They're seeing a fraction of a percentage. And so it's not a sustainable model to just have music on a streaming service to support an entire industry. But somehow the way that the video game industry is approaching the streaming model, it seems like it's much more sustainable and more beneficial to the companies, to the developers, and to the actual gamers themselves. Whereas in the music industry, the streaming services are more beneficial to the end user, to the people that are listening. It's not necessarily beneficial to the people making the art. It's different content. One looks like it's going to thrive, and then the other one is just kind of very much struggling.
The first thing is, the thing that killed the music industry before streaming services killed the music industry was piracy. Piracy was kind of the streaming service, if you will, before that existed, like Spotify existed. And people found that they could get music for free, so why would they pay for it? So then Spotify, in my opinion, kind of came in as that middleman of, well, we can make it legal for you to get this stuff, easier to access, and stream it whenever you want. So that was kind of the answer, in my opinion, more to piracy than what music wanted to do in a lot of ways. People were just going to go to YouTube and listen to it for free, or they were going to pirate a song off of, back in the day, Pirate Bay or what have you. So I think that's part of it. The video game industry has made it so there's so many anti-piracy lockups. So, you know, Blizzard games, they make it so you have to basically connect to their service to be able to play their games. Mm-hmm. And that's how they check to make sure you have a valid copy of the game. Multiplayer. So many games having multiplayer and people wanting to use multiplayer, you can't pirate those games. You can't play them illegally. So you really have to have the original copy. So streaming isn't impacted by it. They're just offering it in a different way. So it's kind of a whole different thing altogether. But also, like, the artists making money off of the products is kind of approached very differently in video games than it is in music. So that it's so weird because, like, it depends on who you define as the artist and how much money they're getting, if it feels like it's enough money. Still. So yeah, I think there's a couple of questions in there that you asked. So it's kind of hard to hit them all, but that's the majority, at least in my opinion.
I think the other thing is that you can hear music on the radio. You can hear it pretty much anywhere. I think that there's a perceived value issue that doesn't quite line up. I think a lot of people don't understand how much goes into making a song or making an album, how many hours each person takes to do that. Whereas that's a little more understood, I think, with a computer game or a video game. I think that's a lot of the reason why someone feels that they won't pay for listening to a song, but they will pay for playing a video game.
That's actually it's a really interesting point, because I think what actually is happening here is that the value generated is being shifted instead of to Stadia, which is like the content provider. If we think of that as sort of like the same, or I'm sorry, Spotify, which is like the content provider, instead of the content developer, right? In music, but we still have that problem where the actual artists, the people working on whatever that product are still essentially being exploited, I think, in a lot of ways. When you look at crunch and you look at the way that a lot of game development happens, those are not happy, sustainable workplaces. At all times, whenever we look inside a development company, we see people who are stressed out to the max or who operate in unhealthy, unsafe work environments and feel that they can't possibly take time off. And so I think, again, it's society finding a way to take the value away from what artists and people who are creative create and instead give it to someone who gives them that content instead of the people who create that content, which I think is really sad.
And it's like the corporation, so Blizzard, you're gonna pay $60 for their game, but you won't pay an indie developer $60 also. Like it's also that idea of like valuing games at what you feel like it's valued maybe isn't as universal. Too. Like there's a whole thing.
God.
I think this is a topic for another
day. Like you're blowing my mind.
We are so
right
over. We're so over time.
Okay, speaking of other topics,
$20 because you're blowing my mind.
we do have another one that we need to get to in the second half, so we're gonna go do that now. Stick with us.
There we go. And 5, 4, 3, douche, 1.
Hello and welcome to the second half of the GameBrew podcast. This is episode 100. Woohoo!
It's episode 100.
Hey,
We've
celebrate good times.
of
That's
these.
all we can say.
Yeah.
Never
that's it.
would have
Can't say
imagined in my entire life that we would have made it to episode 100. But here we are, going strong and just living life on the edge and drinking some Magic Hat. Number 9.
I'm on number 3.
nine.
I'm remembering how drinkable this is, and also work is going to be
drinkable.
sucky tomorrow.
I volunteer to let you all know this tastes like liquid candy. So if you're looking for a good liquid candy drink, get this Bold Rock pineapple.
So I actually want to jump into here to say that I've switched over to New Belgium's Belgian collection, which is a mouthful to say correctly. So I'm dripping. I'm drinking their triple Belgian style ale, which is brewed in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I gotta say, as far as Belgian triples go, this is real good. So New Belgium, of course, famous for their fat tire. But this particular one
And the Voodoo Ranger series.
and Voodoo Ranger series. But this one, a much more traditional Belgian, and like it's pretty up the middle. It's got that Belgian sort of like banana-y sweetness behind it, but it's not overpowering. And in addition, it's a triple, so you feel it, and I'm appreciating it.
So I just cracked open a new number 9, and I wanted to share this inspiration with you.
Oh, I have 3. I have 2 of those to share.
Seek to inspire and lead others higher.
Oh, how motivational.
I've got.
Without hops, the world stops.
If I had a tail, I'd wag it. And home is where your magic hat is.
Oh.
A mind is a terrible thing to baste.
Unless you're in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and you're eating fried monkey brains, then you better remember to base those brains. Otherwise,
That's right.
You're gonna
They're going to
taste
come
bad.
out dry, and no one likes a dry brain.
They're gonna.
My next cap says, Ian's a fuck. These are really aggressive caps, guys.
Oddly
aggressive
specific.
and very pointed.
I think it's just coincidence,
Yeah,
but
I mean it has to be. Right? Like it has to be. So episode 100, guys. We've done 100 episodes of this podcast together.
We have.
Except for Allison, she's only done
I was gonna say
77.
77, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still the baby, guys. I'll always be the baby on the podcast.
And like I just want if you're listening to this and in our business meeting, Allison usually starts most of the things that she says with, I haven't been here as long as you guys. And I'm always just like, you've been here like the whole time. Like it's been 3 years.
She's been on way more podcasts than I have.
As a technicality.
It's a technicality. But it is a thing. Oh, hey, I got so you guys know how you're always accusing me of being a murder robot, specifically Alex.
I haven't actually recorded that you are a murder
There's
robot.
evidence.
Well, I can
back
refute
forever.
that because I do have this listener who sent us a thing. I'm going to try and play it right now. Please tell me.
Okay.
It's going to play, and then tell me if you can hear it afterwards.
Hello. My name is, Alice. And I would like to say I can definitely confirm that Dan is not a murder robot. He is definitely a test subject. I mean human, like all of you. I mean us.
So, I mean, as you can tell, like, I'm
that's
obviously not.
That was super
That's
legit.
pretty cut
Yeah,
and dry.
super legit.
I'm convinced.
Whoever's editing, can you please now split in the audio of Dan admitting to be a murder robot?
I'm not convinced.
Dan, we love who you are, and it's okay if who you are is a murder robot.
I actually might prefer you as a murder robot.
Oh, really?
I'm a little fucked up. That's kind of my type. So yeah, you're good. Murder robot. Check.
Listen, I'm into murder robots. It's a thing. I watched Terminator, and I'm just like, ooh, I didn't think
that's my kink.
Ooh,
and we don't kink shame on the GameBrew podcast of all things.
It's true. It's true.
There are things. There are two essential rules in the GameBrew podcast. I think we've come up with, which is there's no kink shaming.
There's no kink shaming,
and don't tell me how to fuck.
It's true.
the GameBrew. It's the GameBrew Bill of Rights.
It's very short. Oh god.
We'll get there. We'll add more.
God. Oh. Well, anyway, all right. I think
so.
I think the Mandatory Fund Commissioner has some things he wants to talk to us about. So I'm gonna let him come in here.
All right.
Once I recover. I mean, I'm not changing my voice at all. Excuse me.
Clears his voice.
Guten Tag, meine Freunde.
Oh, guten Tag. It's been way too long.
Look, I have an edit to make. I forgot you were here. Murder robots aren't my type. You're my type.
What did you
okay?
say? Did you say that a murder robot's more sexy than me, the Mandatory Fund Commissioner?
It was a mistake. It was a slip of the tongue. I'm drunk. It's fine.
Alison.
Mm-hmm.
This is
He's not
2020.
mad, he's disappointed.
This is 2021. We may have to discuss some changes.
Only for the better, I hope.
Sure.
Glad you're here.
But anyway, our sexual past aside, I've arrived because it is your 100th episode, and I feel as though I should be here. Congratulations, you did it. You made it to the triple digits.
And we couldn't have done it without you, sir. To be honest.
Why would we want to?
I think that's false. We could have done it without him. You shut your mouth, Daniel!
Is that why you always knock him out?
Yes,
like,
he's
you didn't do
very
that this time.
annoying. I do not like him.
MFC, are we going to have 100 minutes of fun for the second half?
Yes, it will be very long. It will be its own podcast. Maybe
I'm so sorry, listeners. I had no idea.
you will have to sit through it. It will be delicious and wonderful, just like the beers you are drinking. So it will be great. But
so what do you have on tap for us today,
well,
sir?
That was a very good pun. I thought you were done with puns in 2021 because it rhymed.
I never
agreed to that.
I think that's Bill of Rights rule number 3, guys. Like, we will never stop the puns.
Oh,
I just get all hopped up on them, you know? I just get really excited.
So 2021, don't stop the pun. Well, very good.
They just flow out of me.
They fall
Might
out
wanna
of
get
you?
that
You might
looked
want to
up.
go to Steel.
They flow.
They flow. Oh, excuse me. Also,
They're just pouring out.
Still, see a doctor because that amount of seepage is bad for you, Christopher.
What if I don't want to play anything today?
Oh, that's too bad because it's mandatory. All the fun is mandatory.
Right. I forgot. I'm
you
sorry.
have to do
I always
it.
forget that rule.
Stupid.
It's amazing. It's almost as if I worked for the committee for sometimes doing things which are enjoyable, and they are not good. They're terrible.
They sound pretty
Very
lame.
unprofessional.
I mean, they're professional, but almost too professional. We prefer
Wishy-washy.
We prefer to have our fun mandatory and spontaneous, and also just ridiculous. So. I understand it's your 100th episode. Congratulations. How do you feel? How do you feel
Thank you
after
again.
100 episodes of recording a podcast?
I feel a little bit like Forrest
for
Gump
100
after
more.
he ran a lot, and he turns around and he talks to everybody, and he just says, "I'm tired."
I wrote down a couple thoughts that I had. One of the things was you could also shout into an empty room for 100 episodes, and it would still have the same effect. How does
I mean,
that
that's
make
literally
you
what we
feel?
are doing. Are you kidding? Like, that's what we're doing right now.
That's outstanding.
It's funny because it's true and it hurts.
All right. So I mean, because it's because Mandatory Fun, it's 100th episode. I went through and picked some. I made some questions for you. related to the 100 episodes of the podcast that you have recorded.
Oh my God. Okay.
So there are some very specific rules. Number 1, do not shout the answers. It's like we're in middle school again. Do not shout the answers. If you do, I will promptly drive to where you live and slap you on the face. Save the drama for your llama? Is that what you're doing? I don't understand. They made llama, I think.
Was it the silent fox?
Yeah, silent.
Oh, yeah, silent fox.
Did you not have that in school?
I didn't. We had the shut the hell up or else you will get the stick again.
Man, Australia's intense, guys. I knew that they had. I knew that all the animals would try to kill you, but I didn't realize the teachers were also trying to kill you.
You know what?
People are animals too.
All right.
The clamps make more sense now.
So, basically, here's what you're going to do. If you want to buzz in, you have to say. Just say brew. Just say brew.
Brew.
Just say brew.
Brew.
Just say brew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brew.
Got it.
Got it.
And if you do, I've asked the question. If you say brew, you know. Okay, so here we go. Question number 1. Whoever gets the most points, please keep track of them yourselves. I will not be doing it.
Okay. All right, I got it. Hold on, give me a sec.
Just keep track of your points. If you get it right, hey, points for me. All right, so here we go. All right, so question number 1. We are recording episode 100 right now. But how many episodes of the podcast are there actually?
Oh, brew.
Ooh, Ian, you were first.
99.
That is incorrect. Chris.
107.
Ooh, that is also incorrect.
Brew?
But very. Will?
108, Bob.
That is correct. There are now 108 podcasts because of the one we're recording right now.
Wait, did that include number 1?
Oh, wait, that does include number 1. I forget how I counted it, but yes.
So I'm right.
So, no, but also yes.
Brew?
That's an episode. Just because people haven't heard it doesn't make it less of an episode.
But on iTunes, I can go and there's when this comes out, there will be 107 episodes.
It does include, so there are 107, but there are actually 108. So Will gets the point. Boom.
Great. I award myself 10 points. Since we're keeping track of our own points.
Acceptable mandatory fun points. Go whichever way you like. Here we go. Number 2. In episode 17, we discussed creating a Paula Deen MMO. What was the title of that MMO?
Oh, brew.
Ian.
Butter Quest.
That is correct.
Nice.
Because we would do everything.
I know that.
Butter Quest.
This is great.
I remember that.
Too good. Yep.
I would still play that.
I would too.
I would 100% play that.
All right, so here we go. Question number 3. Ian gives us all fun nicknames or titles in the beginning of each episode. When did he start, and why aren't we tired of it yet? So what episode did he start doing this?
Brew?
Yes, Allison.
14?
That is incorrect.
Brew. 47.
Oh, no, also incorrect. It was earlier than 47, later than 14.
No, it was.
Brew.
Ian.
25.
That is correct!
I thought you were doing it since I was on. Really?
It was like a couple after you came.
Oh, I've always loved them. So I guess I thought it was way before me.
And that's why
so the second half of the question is, why aren't we tired of them yet?
Yeah, why aren't we tired of them yet?
Because they're amazing.
Because they're awesome.
Yeah,
because
they're awesome. So points for everybody. Everybody gets a point, so nobody feels left out.
Yay.
It's like a participation trophy in soccer.
Okay.
All right.
So currently, Will and I are tied with 2. Chris, Allison,
Ian
and Alex
is leading
one.
with 3.
Why does
Chris have 3?
Why does Ian have 3?
Or Ian.
He should only have 2.
Yeah,
Because he got
everyone gets a
the
point.
extra point.
Oh, I get
And
the
he
everyone
got-
point too?
Yeah, everyone.
that
No,
would
he
be
doesn't
2.
get an Wait.
No,
Because he got
See,
one
this is why I don't
right,
keep
Paula
and an
Deen.
extra
He
point.
got
Butter Quest.
25.
he got,
he got
Butter,
25.
Butter Quest and then episode 25.
Oh, that's
I forgot
true.
he got
I forgot
Butter
Butter
Quest.
Quest.
All right,
Everybody
I'm giving
forgets
myself
about
Man's
Butter
at 3.
Quest.
I'm
Damn
at
it.
2.
All right, here we go.
All right. So here's the question. What episode have the most people listened to?
Brew.
No, I used to know
Ian.
this.
I mean, I'm sorry, Chris.
Everything's stacked against episode 4.
That is incorrect.
No, that's not right.
Brew. I'm
William.
going to go episode
I just remember the
44.
number.
No, it's earlier than 44, later than 4.
Brew?
Ian.
I'm just guessing here, but 32?
Nope, earlier than 32.
Brew.
Yes, Alex.
13.
Also incorrect. It's later than 13.
40?
Nope, I said was earlier than that. So, nope.
Oh, no, 44, I thought.
Oh, well, I guess that's earlier. That's fine. But, okay, so the most listened to episode is episode 24. Is the good, the bad, and the money hungry.
I want to point out, if you go to episodes, episode 4 has 316
Well, then...
listens. It doesn't include the legacy.
Oh, motherfucker. I didn't look at the thing. So, well, then, Chris, you get a point out of solidarity. Everybody else... Technicality points for Chris. They don't count towards mandatory fun, but they do count towards the technicality police who are just behind me.
I'd like to imagine that, the episode after I came on was actually the most popular. So let's keep that canon.
Keep it that way. There we go. Chris is showing me evidence, which I don't care about, but here we go. This is a mandatory fun commission. We don't care about evidence.
Chris's technicalities don't matter.
All right, here we go. This is going to be a quick one. What is the color of the best box in the whole world that appears in our script sometimes?
Allison, Brew.
I'm gonna go with Allison. Allison.
I said my name first.
Oh, you said your
I'm
name?
being fair.
So,
Magenta? Is it magenta?
No, that's incorrect. Chris.
What?
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia box. It is fuchsia.
God damn it.
Have you guys ever called it that?
Yes,
I just
Chris and Dan have a very specific relationship with the fuchsia box.
Sorry. So Chris and Dan made something up that no one else knows.
No, everybody knows it's always
Chris
there.
and Dan
It's not in this one because I deleted it to make sure nobody could see.
I've seen it. It looks magenta.
Well, yeah, because it's fuchsia. All right, here we go.
Bullshit.
I went back an episode and there it is.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God. I would like to note that in Excel, if you hover the color, it is called magenta.
Well,
You bastards.
For what I can tell, fine. Points for you too. There we go. All right.
Wait,
Thank you.
okay. Wait. So she gets points on a technicality, but I don't get my
No.
points
They're
for
technicality
technicalities.
points. Also, they don't count towards the actual competition. The technicality police will be by later to pick up all of your technicality point rewards. All right. So this is. I'm just curious. What are all the games that shall not be named?
Brew,
Sure.
All right.
Dark Souls,
Okay.
Breath of
So
the
that's
Wild.
1 point for you.
Uh-huh.
That's no longer on there.
Really?
Yeah, we removed it.
Oh, wow.
Actually, no. It was always on notice.
Oh,
We
it was
never actually
on
added it.
notice. Okay, well that knocks me out then.
Brew, Astroneer.
Okay.
Point for you.
Tony
Going
Hawk
into
Pro Skater was recently added.
Did we actually add it?
Yes, we
we did.
discussed adding
We did.
it.
I think.
Okay.
Brew.
Yes.
Witcher 3.
Yep, that's on there.
I'm also adding points for you guys to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like this is just this is a way for me to trick you into getting bad points.
Is that our Stadia fund?
Yes,
That's right.
it's a GameBrew Stadia.
So I guess it's me now.
Yes.
And isn't Stardew Valley one?
Yes.
Yes.
I remember that one. See, I don't say any of the games that
There's
are on
two-
there.
there's
so
two
it's hard to
more.
see.
Two more.
Two more.
There's one that I play a lot, and that one that Ian hasn't mentioned for a long time, but used to mention.
Total
a stupid
War,
amount.
Warhammer War.
Yes.
Yes. Total War, Warhammer War.
Yep.
And
And the last one is one that Ian liked to talk about way too much.
hold on.
sorry.
I think Dan knows. Oh yeah, is it Dwarf Fortress? That game he talked about like every episode for.
It
Guys,
is.
there's Dwarf Fortress news though. I meant to talk about it this week.
No one
No
cares.
one cares about Dwarf Fortress.
Game of the year 2021, Dwarf Fortress with its new interface. I'm calling it right now. Okay,
I
anyway.
love Ian.
Okay. All right. So all right. I'm going away, guys. See you later. And I'm back. All right. So April 14th, 2017 is the date of the first release of the podcast. How many days has it been since then?
Since April, 14th?
2017. Go.
This
Are we going to do an over under on
Yes,
this?
I'll give you.
possible.
I'm gonna have everybody guess.
all right, great.
Everybody guess. I'll give you. I'll whoever's closest without going over. No, fuck that.
It's been
12. Whoever's
1,389.
closest.
What did you use a calculator?
Nope. 1,389.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 1255.
Okay. Remember these numbers because I'm not going to.
1360.
I'm gonna do a flat 1,200.
Okay.
100 or 1,000. Sorry, I'm panicking. I'm trying to math.
One day,
1,000
Bob. One day.
1,295.
All right. The answer is drum roll, short drum roll. 1,374 days have passed since the release. So I think Alex is.
But I went over.
Alex wins.
I won by Price is Right rules.
That's true. Alex won by Price is Right rules, so mandatory fun points for him. All right. So we all know what episode Allison joined us on. What did we talk about?
Best hair in video
Me?
games.
Brew?
Yes,
Brew?
Allison?
We talked about pets.
That is correct. We talked about video game furry friends. What did
Let's talk about pets.
What did we talk? Oh God!
talk
Don't
about
put it in
you.
that song.
Me?
And what did we talk about in the
pets.
second half? More for more bonus points.
I'm giving her a point, for that one, yeah.
I don't know if I remember. I don't think I remember.
Do you guys remember that terrible Dragon Ball movie?
I wish I
What
did.
was it called? Dragon Ball.
Evolution?
Yeah, and then oh gosh, you do things together. Whenever you're, I mean, it's on.
The evolution of group
Evolution of-
gaming?
Yes, that is correct. We talked about the evolution of social gaming, which, to be fair, we have talked about on the podcast probably 9 different
lot.
times.
It keeps
true.
evolving. It's not our fault.
That's true. All right. So there's going to... Okay, Will,
Yes.
you have a bonus point
Sweet.
for beard status and also because you can't answer this next question.
What?
Will Early issued a challenge where if we met that goal, he would play Stardew Valley. What was that challenge?
I just know he's supposed to play.
He's going to. Don't worry.
We
I have
met
a plan.
it.
I
We
have a
met
plan.
it.
100 subscribers?
Nope. You didn't say brew, but also wrong.
It was it was downloads. It was like 100 downloads of something.
Nope, that is also incorrect.
God damn it.
I will give you
also didn't
both.
say
I will
brew.
give you both. It is 100 of something.
Subscribers?
I just
He
said
just said that. Christopher, you're right. He doesn't listen to you at all. It's very rude.
But maybe if it's...
Brew?
Yes, Alex.
100 followers on Discord?
Oh, no, but you're getting to the right sort of place.
I don't know. 100. So he was getting to the right place with 100. 100. Was it? No, we don't have 100 followers on Twitch yet.
No.
It's very early. All right. Well, I'm going to have Dan give us the answer. Dan? Oh, yeah. He said he would play Stardew Valley if we got 100 likes on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
100
Wow.
page
Who
likes
How
on
2017.
Do we have Facebook?
Oh, yeah. You guys totally have a Facebook. Did you not know that?
I'm an old man. I only know Facebook.
When did you agree to that, Will?
Oh, God. That was
Oh, God.
a long time
It was
ago.
before me, right?
That was before you.
whenever
That was like
everyone
episode
was
18
playing
or something like that.
Stardew Valley.
I thought so. I thought so.
Stardew Valley is way
That was
better
one of the
than I thought it
teen
was.
episodes, 17, 18, 19.
Just
It's a long time ago.
all right. Let's is this the last question?
No, there's 3 more.
Commissioner?
Here we go.
It really
All right.
should be the last
Well,
question, but okay.
shut the fuck up. Dan's having a good time, so you can suck it up, and he's doing the edit.
Wait,
This is gonna be
I
a
thought that the
7-hour
mandatory
long
fun
episode.
commissioner was not Dan.
Yeah, no,
7 hour long.
I'm just looking. I'm looking at Dan, and he looks like he's having a good time. All right, in episode 20, what action star did we compare Mario to?
I mean, I hope Claude Van Damme.
That's incorrect.
No.
No. I know who it was. Fuck, I can't remember his name though.
Brew.
It's
Oh, Allison.
Danny DeVito.
No, he's not an action
what?
star.
He's not an action.
Well, I mean, I
star.
guess he is, but he's very small.
I mean, it depends on the action you want.
Oh, God.
I just love Danny DeVito, and I don't know the answer. So
Danny DeVito, if you're out there, she's single
Brew?
and waiting.
Chuck
Yes,
Norris.
That is correct. It was Chuck Norris. Mario's the Chuck Norris of video games. You can put him in anything and it'll still kick ass. How many? Hey guys, so Dan has a lot of characters. How many are there, and what are they? Go.
Like official characters on the podcast.
Mandatory Fun Commissioner.
Yep.
Johnny Two Hammers.
Yes.
Hey, somebody say Johnny Two Hammers. Hey.
That's all I got.
Brew. Yeah, Alex had it.
Nope, it was Alex.
Satan?
What is Satan?
Oh, what is Satan?
No. No, what is Satan? You can't just say Satan. He has a very specific role.
Oh, our producer.
There we go.
The show's producer. Produced by Satan.
I didn't realize our producer was Satan.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's canon now.
The newest edition is GameBrew Beer.
The GameBrew Bear. Hey everyone, it's me. Remember not to leave your PS4 on when you leave the house, because it might start a fire.
What the fuck? But also okay.
Is that it?
That's
all
all I can remember.
All right, and yeah, I think that's it. I mean, you could count that Dan's a motor robot, but I don't think he's a motor robot. So
No, that's
not a
just
character.
That's just his life.
all right, so count up your points, everybody.
Okay, I have tallied the points.
I have 2 mandatory fun points for me and 2 technical points for
All right,
me.
so the technical police are telling me that you have won a pencil topper.
Yay! Dan has 2. Ian has 3. Will has 3.
I have 8.
How do you have 8?
Because I was actually counting, apparently.
You don't get points for half right answers.
What are you talking about? Every time we play a mandatory fun game, I am robbed of points.
Okay, but at least, Chris, he got 2 points on the last question alone, so I'm not sure your
That's what I'm
math.
saying.
I didn't know that each answer is worth.
See,
a
this
point.
is why I said to take track of your own points.
Okay,
but
so here are the
I
points.
think Ian wins no matter what.
I have 8 points. Will has 6. Chris has 2 and 2 technicality points. Allison has 4 points and 1 technicality point. Alex has 5 points, and Dan has 2.
So I guess, well, normally if this would be when I say that somebody is a winner, but for me, you are all winners. So
thanks.
everybody wins. We got to go on a little trip down memory lane.
That was beautiful.
And show how much we don't remember.
Exactly.
There's a lot of
What
drinking
happens when
on
you're
this
drinking
show.
beer the entire
There's a
time
lot of
while you're doing
drinking.
it?
That's true.
There is a lot of drinking that happens. That's why we don't remember what the second topic is ever in any episode, because that's when Zabia hits.
I would love to know how many beers each of us have. Like how many beers total we've drank.
That's not a number that we
would
should
be
figure
At
out.
least 2 per episode.
The answer is enough.
2 per episode per.
No, but that's-
let's see, 2.
I drink more.
But
than
it's
2 per
like we
episode.
drink more beers than that. So buy mandatory fun. Everybody say buy mandatory fun commission.
Bye.
See you soon.
We're gonna go lock him in his closet later. Well, let's just say, okay, so for a base level, at least there's usually at least 3 of us on, and while there's an average of 2.5 beers per person, right?
And 0 for Allison.
And 0 for Allison.
I'm averaging it out super basically. We have at least drank 1,000 beers.
Oh,
total.
easy.
Nice.
At least.
Easy.
Hey guys. Well, does everyone have like a glass of something that they can raise up, or like?
I do.
This is
Good.
an audio medium.
Well, folks, we've been doing this for a long time. There we go. And cheers to the Game Brew 100 episodes. We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Clink, clink, clink. We've made it.
In
And we
the
are
bag.
not that tired of each other yet.
Yet.
Only a little bit. Only a little.
Watch it.
So by the time we make it to episode 200,
Oh, there's going to be an entire
in our
new cast on the podcast.
our
by that
late
point.
30s.
No, wait,
You're going to be
We'll be in our
close to
mid
40.
30s.
You might be.
Ian and I
early
will be in our
30s.
late 30s. Ian and I will be 30. That's what, almost 4 years
I'll be
away? Ian and I will be,
I'll be like
38
34,
years
35.
Guys,
I feel good about being 38 years old in episode 200.
Yeah.
guys,
I'm fine
I
with
don't, I
that.
don't
I'm
know
just
why
saying
you're.
we're gonna
I
be
don't even
almost
know
30
why you're
almost
thinking of that. We're going to hire younger, more attractive people to be on the podcast.
But we're going to
Oh, that's a
voice
much
them.
better
But we're
idea.
going to voice
But
them.
find people that look like us. But yes,
Okay, guys, this baby face.
Well, no, Allison, you'll still be there. No, Allison,
I'll
you'll still be there. We're talking to everybody.
and Dan will still be here because he's a murder robot, so he's not really.
Guys, I'm not a murder robot. Alice said that I was not one. So
Alice also sounded like a robot to me, and I think robots stick together.
Robot.
So
agree to disagree.
That's gonna be it for us tonight for episode 100. Everybody, thanks for being with us for this one. Thanks for being with us for the first 100. And thanks for sticking with us for the next 100.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah, basically.
We love you guys, and we're so sorry about this 18-hour-long episode we just recorded.
I'm not sorry at all. Dan's not sorry at all. You love it.
Let's say good night, everybody.
Good
Night, everybody.
Yeah. What have I been playing?
Yeah.
No, just tell us about your feelings.
Oh, well,
Chris, here's the spirit stick.
Guys, are we actually better than our first episode of this point?
I don't think so. We have not improved. It is 4 years.
We definitely sound better.
We sound better. Audio upgrade. That's about it.
Definitely sound better.